we need to record, but record on the cloud. I don't know if this is gonna record on my cloud or his cloud.
Pues no me acaba de enviar una cosa. Y aquí estoy yo atrás. Y que casi desheredado.
Hope it I'm just telling JJ records on your cloud. All right, perfect. So, how to effectively promote content. So let's go into PowerPoint, share, and let's present concurrent slide. Okay, you should be able to see a giant orange slide that says how to effectively promote content. Okay, so we've been talking about creating content. We've been talking about the different ways that you can repurpose it, restructure it, almost everything, right? From social media to the content, the written content, and video content as well. So we're going to go into how to actually get it out there and make sure that it gets effectively out to your audience wherever they live, no matter the platform. So we have to build a promotional plan for the content that we create. And one of the biggest challenges for marketers is really creating the visibility around the content that they create, right? Because you could create some pretty amazing content, but then people are not exposed to it, or it's not shown in the places where people are going to see it. So almost half of your customers are likely to view 3 to 5 pieces of content before engaging in a sales process. This is from the State of Inbound report. TED is a great example of how they have taken the content that is created by their speakers and really gone ahead and promoted it very effectively. I'm sure, you've heard of TED? Have you heard of TED? Most of you? Yes, I think so.
Yeah. We have TED Talks here in Punta Cana.
Yes, TEDx. I saw it. Yeah, last time there was a TEDx there. I saw it on the live streaming, actually. That was great. So just to go into a little bit, a little example, right? This particular share of a piece of content or video that they have about sloths, right? I mean, I guess they're not the most beautiful animals.
They are.
But I think they're cute, right? Like they're one of those things where like, oh, they're so ugly, they're cute. But they really went about promoting this talk about sloths and using some of the quirkiest things, right? So this is just an example of what they did to promote this particular piece of content. Obviously they used an image from the video showing the beetles and the different sloths that look like the beetles, right? Which was pretty effective marketing for them, but also it leveraged the content that was already created by Lucy Cook and used that in a creative manner to promote the content on Twitter, right? Then you can see on Instagram, I mean, it's a super cute sloth, obviously, but they added the fact that, like the copy that was created also came from the presentation and mentioned a lot of interesting things. I mean, things like, that they fart through their mouth, which is super weird, but it's the first line of the copy that captures your attention typically, and it gets you to understand a little bit more about the actual item that is being, or the actual promotion here, right? So 4-chamber stomach, I mean, like all these things, and the fact that she's talking about that they taught her a lot about slowing down, right? And I think just thinking through what elements of your particular piece of content can be interesting, and the little pieces that you can take and share on social media that's going to get people enticed to continue on to download or read the piece of content that you created as well. So this was a funny one as well. This is on Facebook. Get your sloth on this weekend. Everything you've ever wanted to know about sloths, right? Very interesting as well. So you have to ask yourself a few questions when creating the promotional plan, right? Number one, what content is available to promote? So that's why part of our class revolved around using content audit, right? And the planning sheet to keep track of all the content creation efforts, to make sure that you have an understanding of what's available at any given point so that you can come up with ideas as part of the promotion as well. When should you promote this content? So pro tip, when experimenting with the best times to share content with your audience, always optimize for the most engagement. So there are statistics out there that show when people are online the most. So you should aim to schedule your promotion or your anything that you do around those times. And then also think through the fact that the audience across channel doesn't want the same amount of content, right? On Twitter, you may have a broader audience, or you may have the opportunity to be able to post repeatedly over and over again, but that's not the same as Instagram, where if you keep posting the same picture, it's gonna just go nowhere, right? It's gonna be annoying to the individual. So you have to remember the platform, remember the channel that you're on, and try to think through, obviously, the time, but also think about the persona, like which persona can benefit from this piece of content. How is that piece of content going to be able to help that buyer persona, and who that person is, and why should they care about that piece of content that you're putting out there. And then next is how and where this persona can consume this content. So think about where they live in this case, right? You don't want to just share all of your content on all your channels all at the same time. Recently I realized that I was out where whatever I shared on my Instagram account was automatically being posted to my Facebook page. And then I'm like, wait a minute. When I looked at my Instagram, I'm like, I had great engagement. When I saw on my Facebook page, I was like, no engagement and no following. So I'm like, this is not worth it. Like, what am I doing, repeating the same thing over and over again when it's different audiences, right? So just think through ahead of time before you do the promotion. And then also think through of how your messaging can resonate with the persona, right? What are you going to say that's going to help really help you drive effectiveness and unique value to all your audiences. One easy way to improve your content promotion on Facebook is to refrain from sharing the same post on Instagram. And I just said that with my own story, right? But that's really a pro tip. Try not to make sure that you're not repeating the same things over and over again on those two channels. And there are many tools out there for managing your content promotion plan. And we've used almost all of them. This is Trello. It's a simple board that you can use to organize yourself. It's free. You can create different boards depending on what you're trying to promote. In this example, you have a section for the content ideas. You have a section for the pipeline, which means the ones that are ready to be written. Then content to relaunch, things that are in progress, and things that are in the editorial process. So you can use this type of tool to really organize yourself and what you're doing at any given point using the board system. You can use your calendar as well, or you can create a specific calendar on your Google account, or really your Microsoft account if you have one as well, that will allow you to organize when you're going to publish these different elements. You can also download this particular, we created one along with HubSpot. It's really just an Excel spreadsheet that allows you to organize yourself. But there's a plethora of tools you can use. If you want more advanced, you may want to look at tools like Sprout Social or Hootsuite to enable you to move a little bit faster with your planning and strategizing for it as well. So promoting content.
I have a question.
Go for it.
You mentioned Hootsuite, but I think and I don't know if I'm wrong, but I think Instagram is banning the automated content.
Automated content or posting to?
Yeah, posting from Hootsuite or
from a third party.
Third party.
Yeah.
We don't want third party apps to be messing around with Instagram.
I've been using Later and I've had no problem.
Yeah. So it depends on the tool. Yeah, because we're using Sprout Social now like as an agency. That's what we use to post both stories and we post regular posts on Instagram. But
yeah, I use Hootsuite.
Yeah, I remember a while back. I remember they had an issue with third party posting as well. Because at one point, HubSpot used to be able to post to Hootsuite, and something changed that didn't allow us. I'm sorry, to Instagram, and something changed that doesn't allow us to post to Instagram anymore. But I know that some other tools are still able to. So it may be dependent on the tool or the partnership that they have with Instagram.
Okay,
Sprout Social y Hootsuite.
Yeah, Sprout Social, Hootsuite. Well, Later.
Later
is using Later, so that sounds like a pretty good tool. Awesome. Okay, so promoting content organically, right? There's 10 ways you can promote your content organically. The number one way, which we recently reviewed, is search engine optimization, right? Making sure that particular piece of content is optimized for the search engines to find you. So optimizing the content for specific topics and keywords that you want to be known for is super important. The topic cluster model that we reviewed yesterday, it's terrible. The pillar page with the subtopic and the hyperlink included in there, making sure that you are able to go in and share this content, also have that content shareable and organized in a very easy manner that people can reach, will allow it to, and also optimizing the sections that you need to optimize in order to come up on these featured snippets that we spoke about last class as well. So the next is inbound links, which is the next part of SEO, which is we also spoke about yesterday, that really links that directing any visitor from another website to yours. So backlink opportunities include content from websites and blogs, which we also reviewed yesterday. And some of the ways that you can use, or tools that you can use to find out if your website is being linked to, are Ahrefs and SimilarWeb. And we also reviewed this yesterday for really like doing a reach out, right? An access. And I'll give you this example email template as well after the class. So another way that you can promote your content organically is using bots and messaging apps. So an example of this is here on PandaDoc. This is actually what we use for proposals internally. The PandaDoc bot is automatically outputting information to try to get them to promote the actual content on the actual order of things. So you can program a chatbot there's a plethora of chatbots that you can use, right? There's a Live Connect, there's HubSpot, and a lot of them are free that you can use and install on your website. And it's a simple if-then scenario, right? If the person mentions researching, then the bot's going to answer with a certain way, and then they'll promote a certain piece of content on the conversation that the bot is having as well. You can promote it also on chat on Facebook. The bots can be installed on Facebook as well to promote content. The next way that you can promote content is email. We spoke about it briefly, right? If you have a certain list of audience that's already built, you can send out the content to your email list and make sure that you are reaching the right audience. But you don't want to oversaturate your email database either, because then it won't perform well. People will get sick and tired of it, right? So try to think through when the right time it is to send out that particular email promotion. And you don't want to do it over and over again or too often. So the next way that you can promote content organically is social media. And we spoke about that briefly right in the beginning. But you can use social media to try to engage with individuals and really try to get some form of engagement from there, but also be able to answer and respond to any questions or customer concerns that you may have, because a happy customer on social media will give you a lot more value. And in addition to that, Google is looking at the signals of interaction that are happening from the pages that it's currently recognizing on all the social media channels, right? Whether it's Facebook or Instagram, any public facing page that they can crawl, it will crawl, and it will start. It does understand that people are interacting with certain brands that are tied to certain pages that are tied back to a certain website or a brand. Hootsuite, obviously, we just spoke about Hootsuite as a tool to be able to manage all these activities, but you can see that they're very active online and that they get comments, and they try to share as much information and helpful information as they can on Hootsuite. So another way of doing it, of promoting the content, is live events and webinars. So as you're planning your content ideas, you should have some kind of strategy or tactic to share this with individuals at live events, or if not, a webinar as well. Number 6, podcasts. Podcasts are awesome at promoting content. Recently, I created a guide to salespeople for living or prospecting in the time of Corona. And I got featured on a podcast, and it's coming out soon. And it's actually going to link over to my content piece that I did earlier in last month. So super simple way to do it. Also, influencer marketing, right? Reaching out to individual influencers that can help your particular cause. Oftentimes, softwares like in this case, this example, Ahrefs teamed up with Buffer, and in order to create one content piece that's going to promote their big content piece on how to build website traffic. Word of mouth is another great way to promote the content. So as you're interacting with individuals and you're talking about it, if you find out that your content may be able to help them, make sure you share that content with them. I mean, don't be pushy about it, but just, share the content if it's helpful to that individual. Like, I imagine a lot of you having conversations, one-to-one conversations, or at networking events, perhaps, that you can share your content with entrepreneurs and business owners, right? Like Jose, any content that you create, you can talk about and share with people one-to-one or face-to-face.
Yeah. And also well content.
Yes. Okay, so the last section is content. Oh, no, 9 is content syndication. Content syndication would be taking your content and repurposing, similar to what we spoke about yesterday, what Ryan Blanks was doing. He was renaming the the same piece of content in different ways and having it restructured for that particular piece of content. But you can, for that particular blog or website that you're writing for, right? But you can easily get some of your best content promoted on other channels and other websites that are more popular than yours at any given point. And the last one is content repurposing. Like we briefly covered it in the last conversation, but you can talk about, in this example, e-commerce inbound marketing. This was repurposed into a video, right? And it was created by HubSpot, but it's actually a long form blog post that they have out that was created a few years back and then recreated as a video for them. Then in order to continue and really to grow fast, you can use paid promotion. So paid promotion on elements like Google Ads. You can create a search ads for specific key phrases that you're looking to promote. So if you have digital marketing as a main topic that you want to cover, you can use AdWords or Google Ads as a way to promote for that particular keyword, right? And this is an example of what it looks like. Marketing persona creation has never been easier, social bakers, and this is the actual ad that they're creating for this particular guide that they're offering, right? Display ads as well. So display ads offer great brand visibility and they can be used to reach new audiences. So you can choose to also go on Google's display network and it'll allow you to reach a broader audience that are looking at other websites perhaps, but that may be related to what they've searched to before. And it'll give you more access to individuals that you wouldn't normally have access to on the Google display network itself. Display ads look very similar to these here. You can see this display ad from search engine land on marketing land, right? Marketing land has an ad for search engine land here, which is mostly for SEO. So you can use these display ads on other websites that are related to what you're trying to go after. Then remarketing is also part of Google Ads. It allows you to target ads to a specific audience who have already visited your site. So I'm sure many of you have noticed, and some of you have even experienced the darker side, right? Like you say something when your phone's off and all of a sudden you go onto Instagram or you go to Facebook and there's an ad for what you were talking about just a little while ago, right? So that's the darker side of remarketing. So remarketing, when it started, was based on history of individuals like that had already been on a specific site, right? So it's an ad that you're thinking it follows me, right? It's following me, but you may not have realized that you went to that site at one point or another. But now, one of the craziest things that I've seen recently in the realm of remarketing is I went to West Elm to look at a dining table a few months back, and I didn't even pull up like my phone or anything. But I was at the dining table. I'm like, oh, I really like this dining table. It was like super cool. It had like chrome legs, and I'm like, all right. I leave the store right afterwards. And I pull up my phone and I was doing some other research and I saw an ad for the exact same table, like super freaky. So I got super excited. I decided to call the marketing people at
You're doing
right.
great.
It's freaky for a human, right? It's scary for a human, but as a marketer, I got like thrilled by the fact that I could possibly do that too. So I'm like, I called them and I called the marketing department at West Elm and I started like telling them my story and they're like, oh yeah, no, we're using proximity sensors for when you're in the store to know that you are next to this item. I was like, mind blown, right? So very interesting. Jose, you were going to say something.
That's crazy.
I know, it is crazy. It is crazy. So proximity sensors, RFIDs, I mean that everything is being tracked. I'm pretty sure they're using facial recognition too. So anything to sell you more. You can also use social media ads, right? Number two, social media ads such as this example here with Dollar Shave Club, where you are able to, it just comes up on the feed or a suggested post on Google or I'm sorry, on Facebook or any social media, including Instagram or Twitter. On Instagram, this is a sponsored post by Volvo, right? So pro tip, if you're new to advertising on Facebook, give remarketing a try first. Remarketing on Facebook is often the most effective form of paid advertising and has the highest return on investment. So what we've experienced is the exact same. With most of our clients, what we do is we run a paid ad on Google, running traffic to Google, and then what we do is we have a tracking cookie, a Facebook pixel installed on our website. What we then do is create a remarketing campaign to the people who have landed on our website from the Google ads. And Facebook is way less expensive than Google. I'm pretty sure it's the same in Dominican Republic. If you're trying to target Dominican Republic, it'll be the exact same way, where it's Facebook is a lot less expensive, a lot less investment than. So the idea is to leverage the money, try to leverage the money, the investment that you're doing on Google, which is more expensive, and take advantage of the audience that you already, or the people that already saw, your website, to try to get another chance in front of them using Facebook remarketing. And then this is just an example on Rothy's as well. LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is in the US is the most expensive way to market. It's mostly talking about business to business accounts. But for LinkedIn, we've seen the average investment is $2,500 a month for LinkedIn. So you have to, at least here in the US, you have to be prepared to spend quite a bit of money, but the return for business to business clients is typically high. So if you do have a business client that has like a high value client that they go after, or like a high lifetime value of a client, then it may be worth it for them to invest right into LinkedIn. Right, video, paid influencer marketing. So you can go out there and do these paid engagements with influencers. So if you see individuals that are in your field or that are close to your field and you want to leverage their audience, you can do an engagement with them. Now I know that after some different moments, actually after the Fire Festival, did anybody see the Fire Festival debacle? Yeah.
Yeah.
When they were promoting that orange cube or whatever. Well, after that, they made it like, now you have to say that it's a promotion, right? So like the influencer has to say, hey, this is a paid partnership with, whoever, Chevy, or even if it's like.
I think Instagram has an option.
Yeah.
You can put the paid partner.
Yep. You can do the paid partners on Instagram now. Before that, it was like the Wild Wild West, though. Anybody could post for anybody, and not know that it was an ad. But yeah, that reminds me of the Fire Festival. Native advertising. So you can go directly onto websites that have traffic, and they offer you ad space. Essentially, you can pay for space on websites for you to get featured, or for you to write, or for your content to be featured as well. So content promotion in action. The campaign compared and contrasted the return on investment of Facebook ads versus Google ads. And then quantify the typical average result with via click-through rates, conversions, and click-through rate and costs. So always be mindful of everything that you do, and whenever you're running a paid campaign, always keep in mind what you're spending. Like we wouldn't have found out that it was great to run remarketing until we started doing it and realized, okay, we're able to extend the investment that we had on Google and then did it on Facebook, right?
Question. What's the average spending on the US, on the clients that you have? Pretty much like.
Man, I have they're all over the place. I have clients that spend $2,000 a month on ads, and then I have clients that spend $30,000 a month on ads.
Yeah, but let's say the law that you have, the one that you showed the other day.
The lawyers spend between $4,000 and $8,000 a month.
Okay.
On ads.
Just on ads.
Just on ads, yeah.
I think the only company that spends that kind of money is Grupo Punta Cana here.
Is who? Grupo Punta Cana?
In
Yeah.
Because
no, yeah. I mean, it really depends on the business, right?
Of course.
It depends on how much money they're going to get back from it. It may not be worth it for them to do ads. You know, the smaller businesses, it may not be worth it.
No, not here.
Yeah, I mean, it varies. Like when we were promoting this, we had a little promotion going, paid ad on Instagram. We spent, I think we spent like $90, and we got 4 people that signed up before this whole thing, right? Before the whole Corona thing, but for the live presence thing with the $90. So the pricing is different also, right? Like obviously US is, they created these systems and it just keeps getting more expensive for us to invest here. But I think you could leverage the conversion down in Dominican Republic and find the right fit. You know, it's not for everybody, but definitely find the right fit on there. Yep, we did this. Okay, sorry. Great. So we graded the Google and Facebook ads according to the strengths and weaknesses. So these are some of the actual results, and I'll send you this so you can take a look at a little bit deeper, right? Which ones came out to be the best based on advertising reach, revenue, advertising performance, ad targeting options, and ad formats. This is a little bit of information that you can use to make decisions and maybe even show some of your customers what advertising can do. Obviously, a lot of this is for the US, but you may be able to do something similar for your clients in Dominican Republic by comparing what works best on their campaigns. All right. And then in addition to this particular study that they did, right, with WordStream and Google AdWords, 87 different countries wrote about the particular story, generating millions of links to them. So that story alone, advertising was actually worth it for them. It ended up working well. And they tried a bunch of different stories, right? They tried what industries does Google get all their revenue from? What are the most expensive keywords on Google? And really, the biggest story was the Facebook IPO, and it really helped WordStream get a lot of eyes on them and really started the conversation. And people started realizing that WordStream was a valuable tool for them to use in the paid advertising campaigns. So if you have never used WordStream, there's a free version of it if you want to check it out. But it helps you manage paid advertising campaigns. And you can even have an option where like you can pay them and they manage the client. They don't manage the client for you. They manage the campaigns for you, and you can manage the client. So some pretty interesting stuff. Right. So once you start seeing the success organically, think about doing a paid promotion. So once you have your content ready, your pillar page, and your pillar page is rocking, and you see people downloading the ebook of it and people sharing it, that's when you should start thinking about the paid promotion of it. But not before, because you don't have a full understanding of how, if it's resonating or not, or what changes you need to make. So some of the paid advertising efforts to include, right? Custom audiences on Twitter, including the handles of influential journalists. You can do that as well. Remarketing, because you also want your core industry to know what you have in this interesting story. So in WordStream, they ended up spending tens of thousands of dollars promoting the story, even though it was doing fine organically. It was just to get more mileage and really get the most out of that story. And there were different people personas that were interested in consuming the content here. The business press was marketers, technology enthusiasts, general Facebookers. So they turned the 4 infographics with different headlines. So they tried different headlines as well. And they went with the objective of improving the content promotion of this headline. So when you're building out your content promotion plan, create a schedule that you can stick to. So one of the things that you can do is try to regularly promote your content, because it's going to keep you on top of your audience's radar. So we started a podcast at the beginning of the year. In the beginning, this podcast was a daily podcast. It's called Inbound Academy. And in the podcast, we would sit down and record, we would record 20 episodes in one day is what we would do. We noticed that when we were promoting it regularly, we would actually get more listens. The minute that we stopped for a month, you could see immediately there was a drop in the actual listens to that particular podcast and that piece of content. So, but you got to still be mindful not to promote just for the sake of promoting something to your audience. Make sure that it's well thought out and that you tailor the message to the audience that you're trying to reach. Create a master internal resources where you can share all the experiments and results so that others can see and learn from the actual work that you're doing. So if you're testing different headlines, make sure you have a document that allows you to keep track of these changes that you're trying to do. Then learn from your customers themselves. Listen to them on social media. Listen to them on your responses or your comments on your website. Learn from your competitors. Take a look at what they're doing, how they're advertising their own content, and learn from them. And then also, lastly, learn from experts. Reach out to the community of experts that you have. You are obviously your network right here, is pretty powerful. Aide, you have a lot of experience. Virginia, you have a lot of experience. Jose too. And Arlene, you can rely on each other and talk to each other anytime you can. I'm available too, and JG. So if there's anything that you need or you want us to look at something, we're happy to do it. I'm sure you're happy to help each other out as well. And that brings us to the first break in the class. Any questions on this?
How long do you promote content? For how long?
It varies, but it depends on what it is. Like, I'll tell you, we have a hurricane prepared. So we have a client that does hurricane impact windows and doors. Right here in Florida, I don't know what they were thinking. They built houses out of wood. They're insane. But it's not like Dominican Republic. They're made out of concrete, but they're made of wood here for the most part, especially the second floors, and the windows are not made to withstand wind or impact from projectiles. So they this company created a guide to be prepared for hurricane season, because every hurricane season everybody gets crazy, and we've been promoting that since the company started 3 years ago. So, and we don't stop promoting it. We constantly update it to update the information that's on it. If there's changes in the materials, if there's changes in the colors of the type of windows, you know, things like that. But we're still promoting it. Wow. Even during COVID, because people are still installing impact windows during this time, because hurricane season is not going to stop, right?
Yeah,
and we get hit a lot. Yeah, we're right in the cone.
I have a question.
Go for it.
When you say, we talk about pillar pages, in my case, that I am a tour provider, right? What are the odds that my customers or my visitors can download an ebook about tours?
What are the odds?
Ya, o sea, como que, ¿qué posibilidades hay de que una persona baje un libro, un ebook sobre travel adventure? Es como, o sea, ¿tú lo recomiendas o es algo que yo podría, es un esfuerzo que podría hacer como que poner en otro lado?
No, I would recommend to do it.
Yeah.
You got to give them the opportunity, because it's an opportunity for you to extract contact, right? Or start building a relationship.
Yeah,
that's what you want. Yeah, that's what you want. And
okay.
and you have to give them the opportunity to do it somehow, right?
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, if it's not an ebook, it could be a checklist. You know, if it's not a checklist, it could be I don't know, a free tour, a horseback riding.
O de organización para viajar o ya cosas y que el destino en particular, dije el checklist para, bueno, en Dominican Republic, cosas que no te puedes perder. O sea, yo las bajaría full. O sea, al final como que como que al final yo me organizo para mi viaje y ya hice mi propio research, pero igual como que uno consulta diferentes sources y tenerlo todo en un solo lugar. O tips en general de cómo hacer tu maleta, o sea, todo lo que es travel related, a la gente le gusta.
¿Qué ropa llevar para las aventuras?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yo sí le veo value.
Those are great ideas. And do you want to target, Arlene, do you want to target travel agencies that send you business, or do you want to or both? People that do it direct?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah, because I work with travel agencies, but I also want people planning vacations in the Dominican Republic. Got it. So I want them to book their tours before they arrive to the country. Got it.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I think I think you gotta write content for both then. Those are two different buyer personas, and you should write content like for the travel agency, you know, how we work with travel agencies. How do you work with them? What are the benefits? What's the travel agency pricing look like? You know, all those things. So you may want to look at that in terms of how you're gonna split that content up between agencies and clients and direct clients.
Agencies are a new buyer persona.
Yes, it'll be a different buyer persona.
Perfect.
Okay, so we're gonna take a 5-minute break for water, juice, whatever you guys want. And we'll be back in 5 minutes. I'll be here though, if you need me.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
José,
Dime.
mira, chequéate cuando tú puedas. Hay un chico que se llama Miguel Ceballos, que de pixel.do. Y hay otro que se llama...
No, pues yo cogí un curso con él.
ellos hicieron un webinar esta mañana sobre Facebook Ads en el sector inmobiliario. Estuvo muy interesante. Y quien lo estaba organizando... coño, ahora se me fue el nombre.
Yo hice el taller, yo hice el curso que él tiene, yo hice varios cursos con él. Yo hice el de marketing inmobiliario, hice el de... ¿Cuál es? Yo estoy en la academia y de todo, yo tengo mi clave de la academia.
Ya, ok.
Sí.
Sí, pero él hizo hoy algo con un colombiano que el colombiano se ve que sabía más que él.
Lo voy a buscar.
Te voy a decir ahora, porque yo cogí Jesús Rico Vargas. Él tiene una guía especializada de Facebook e Instagram Ads para agente inmobiliario. Y él fue el que guió el webinar realmente. Y me gustó cómo habla y todo lo que explicó.
Yo tengo que tener un correo por ahí de
Yo me he inscrito en tantas cosas que tengo el correo saturado de invitación a webinars, a talleres, ebooks, newsletters.
Yo tengo rato que no hago nada de Pixel por ese mismo tema. Yo cogí muchos talleres con él y ya yo quería como ver otra perspectiva.
Sí, es mejor verlo. Yo trato de buscar de todo el mundo un chin.
Sí.
Y después compararlo y ver y que mira tú, estos dicen lo mismo.
Así que ya tú sabes, Rod, we're judging you.
I was actually subscribing to your page this afternoon.
Beautiful.
I was taking the survey that you have at the beginning.
Oh, the guarantee?
It was a questionnaire, like a type of audit.
Yeah. What did you score? I didn't get the.
I didn't finish.
I was like, I didn't get the notification.
No, I didn't finish.
It's 20 questions.
I know. I left it like in the question number 7.
7?
Yeah, I need to.
So there's a book. So the book that we give to all the clients is this one. This it's called Traction.
Yeah.
So that test that's there, that test
From
is
there.
based on the study from them. Yeah. On their test. It's awesome.
Yeah, you're putting me into to think like now I want to do a survey or to every type of things. Like right now I'm running a campaign for real estate for like a feria of real estate. And now I want to change the pre-qualification section form, and I want to add a couple of questions, to get to more information from the client, like if this is the first house or if this is investment, if this is your first home, how many bedrooms would you like? Like I want to get as much data as possible.
Yep.
And even for the social media agency, now I'm preparing a survey that I'm going to send to a bunch of friends and people to get to see what they expect from social media, like people that they have no idea and they've been doing it by themselves.
Beautiful. That's
I don't
awesome.
know what I don't know what I'm going to do with so much data, but something will come up.
Yeah, no, I mean, just analyze it and then, I mean, you can base your entire content based on what they say. And then when you like send out your content, you'll see like it instantly people are going to be like, whoa, like they get me, they understand me.
Yeah.
That's the reaction you want. So that's what we found from our surveys. Every time we always get, because people, I mean, I don't want to say that they're all the same, but yeah, we're all very, very similar. We have the same likes, we have the same wants, you know? So it's just about finding those groups that like the same things together and then going after them, for sure. Let me, where am I? Share. Here's a PowerPoint lesson 12. All right. So lesson number 12, measuring and analyzing your content. Oh, this is the last lesson. Last lesson. Almost done. Almost done.
So when are we
And
doing
then,
the exam?
then we have the test.
Yes. You can take the test whenever
Wanna
you
do it
want.
today?
We're going to do it in the last 10 minutes of class.
Okay.
No. You can do it whenever you want. I'm going to, as soon as,
Can I repeat it?
JG's
75 questions?
No, it's actually 60 questions.
But can I repeat the test?
Every 24 hours or 48 hours. I don't remember exact. I think it may be 48 hours.
Okay.
And then you can only do it 3 times. If you fail 3 times, then you have to wait.
No. I won't fail 2 times.
Yeah, 90 days.
Because I want to get better.
Yes. You'll get better. You'll get it. It's 60 questions and you have to score 57 out of 60.
What?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't know what it is exactly, but you'll make it. Don't worry. You'll have all the answers. The answers are in the presentations, and I'm going to give you all the presentations. I'm going to give you my presentations, and I'm going to give you Justin's presentations. Justin,
Before the test, right?
yes, before the test. So I think we should schedule it at the end of the class. We should schedule a time that we can all go online and take the test.
Oh, I thought it was going to be today.
No, it can't be. We can't fit it today. Too much
Okay.
content.
Okay.
We opted.
I have a question.
Go for it.
It's like the Google test, like situations, or it's just the things we saw here?
Multiple choice.
Multiple choice.
It's all multiple choice.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah, it's multiple choice.
Okay.
Yeah, let me actually.
King Marín de Doping.
Now I have a question.
Oh, a mí nunca me funcionó eso.
You'll get it. It won't be that hard.
Okay.
So measuring and analyzing content. So identifying and setting goals. Number 1, right? We spoke earlier about a way or a format in which we suggest that you set your goals. But many companies are out there and some of them don't know their key performance indicators, and they're less likely to meet their revenue goals if they are not keeping track of certain elements. 75% of companies that miss their revenue goals don't know their visitors, qualified leads, or sales opportunities data. 75% of companies that miss it, right? But regardless of what type of content you're measuring, there are numerous metrics that impact success. That's why we were talking about earlier about setting SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely is the acronym for SMART, or what it means. But it's just a way in which we set our goals. So to set SMART goals, you got to use some historical data. So take a look at what has been the results in the past. Use industry benchmarks. If you're an online fashion startup, one of your goals might be to increase brand awareness, right? The amount of people that see you, right? The impressions that you get from your ads. But don't feel bad if you're below the industry standard, right? That's why we're here. We're to grow, to get better, to understand and make our goals epic. So analyzing how your content impacts revenue for your business is another performance indicator, right? And here are some metrics to track. Excuse me. Organic metrics provide the insight in two key areas, right? Content performance across non-paid channels. And it also helps you identify the greatest opportunities for a paid promotion as well, right? So a smart goal for this business might be to increase the monthly blog visitors from 500 per month to 800 per month before the summer sale starts. Website traffic metrics show you how the content is performing on the website. So typically the more visitors there are going to the website, that means the better the website is doing itself. So web page metrics, so it's unique page views tracks how many visitors come to your web page, and page views counts all visits. And what I'm talking about here, you should be able to see inside an analytics tool, which we're going to go a little bit more in depth a little bit later. Traffic sources means a breakdown of page views by the sources your content is being discovered from. So there are many sources visitors could come from: paid search, organic traffic, email marketing, and many more, right? And I'll dive into a little bit deeper about what these metrics look like, because I want to show you. Let me stop share and share screen so we can pull up where to go. There it is. Yes. I'll give you, this is the client I was talking about that they're the impact windows. So these are some of the breakdown of the actual sources, right? Organic search, paid search, direct traffic, social media traffic, referrals, other campaigns or offline campaigns as well, and email marketing. But you can track everything coming from these sources. That's what I'm referring to as traffic sources on this presentation here. All right. So next, bounce rate, another web page.
Sorry, question, Rod.
Go for it.
Those metrics from HubSpot, is it HubSpot the only platform that you can link the page and the social media? That you would recommend?
There are other analytics. Google Analytics is free, and you can see the page sources, the sources on Google Analytics.
Okay.
It's a similar tool. The difference between, so HubSpot allows you to connect an anonymous visitor with a contact on your CRM, because what it does is it has a cookie on the browser embedded, and when the contact fills out a form, it connects the contact to that cookie. Okay. So then no longer making them anonymous. The issue that you have with analytics right now, and they're working on it to take away the anonymity of it, to be able to track and figure out like an actual person. There's a new tool, there's a beta tool that's out right now that does it. But for the longest time, HubSpot was the way to do that, right? To okay. get that knowledge or that information. But there are other tools that you can use.
Yeah, I was trying to use Metricool.
Okay.
But I don't know, it seems like the same information that I have from the Facebook analytics insights. So I was like, why should I pay this platform?
How much is it?
It was like $18 per month for 5 accounts and $144 for a whole year.
I would have to look at it. It depends on, I guess it depends on what you're trying to measure. I mean, we'll go through these and you can choose. I think for you, it'll probably be like a client by client basis.
Yeah.
What's important to them, right? What you want to show them.
Mm-hmm.
So bounce rate, it's important to track because it's a representative of how well your content is living up to your visitors' expectations, right? The longer they are on your site, the more the search engine rankings will improve. So if they're visiting a page that people on average spend 3 minutes on versus 1 minute on, the people that are there for 3 minutes, that page will actually outrank that 1 minute page for the same subject.
Okay.
So that's why another reason to add video, right? Because video engages them and gets them to keep them a little bit longer on there. So, all right. Some of the ways that, or some of the tools that we use to track how people behave on our website. Hotjar is one of my favorite tools. It allows us to be able to see several things. So this is in addition to analytics, right? You have Google Analytics that's free, or HubSpot, or Metricool that you're using now. This goes a little bit deeper. It helps you understand how people are clicking in a given area on your website. What this does is that it helps you better understand how the flow or how individuals interact with your page, where they're clicking on, so that you can make improvements to different elements, either calls to actions, copy, or anything like that, right? It'll actually record an entire session of how people are going through the website with the mouse movements and everything. You will be able to see that information using Hotjar.
I have a question.
Go for it.
This Hotjar is, you need a code to put into your website?
Mm-hmm.
Like analytics?
It's like analytics, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we use, so I know it sounds like a lot of codes, right? So we use Google Tag Manager when we install a analytics code, so that in the future, if we need to add more code that's tracking related, we add it to Google Tag Manager, and Google Tag Manager is the one that is in charge of dispersing the code to the website, just to make it easier. Because we have HubSpot, we have Google. I mean, we may have Metricool, I don't know, maybe, but Hotjar, right? Like all these different tools to track. So we try to put them all together under Google Tag Manager is what we use. I hope that helps. If not, confused you more. So web page metrics, referral traffic, right? It will tell you how well your backlinking and content syndication strategies are working. So everything that we've been talking about for the last 2 days. But it's the ability to be able to see what you need to create a tracking link for each referral source, or use marketing software like HubSpot that can track the links for you. So one of those two methods should be able to see that referral traffic. You can also see it inside Google Analytics as well. The last web page traffic metric you should track is keyword ranking. By tracking the performance of your keyword strategy, you'll understand how your content is ranking for the chosen keywords. So keyword ranking, you can use several tools, from SEMrush to Moz to HubSpot as well. You can also use social media metrics, and they're really used to understand how the content you promote on social is performing, right? So the basis of this is the long form content that you're producing, but you'll be able to the numbers that you're gonna track here are the numbers that are affecting the performance of that promotion that you're doing. So some social media metrics that we track are reach, the number of unique people who view the content, right? Part of a good brand awareness campaign includes the reviewing the number of people that you reach or you're able to see or interact with. It also measures impressions, which is the total number of times the content has been actually viewed. And really by tracking these, you'll be able to identify those posts that are viewed by more people than usual, right? You'll be able to see which ones are performing the best, which ones are reaching the most people, and getting the most impressions. Engagement on social media involves a handful of metrics, right? But they're important to track depending on the platform. But it could be likes, it could be shares, it could be comments, retweets, video views. There's a multitude of them. Each platform has their own way of tracking, so just be mindful. I just recently looked at TikTok tracking metrics, and I thought, oh my God, these are completely different than any other platform. Like, why? But you'll be able to see those and interact with those, or use those as you're developing whatever content on that actual platform, right? They'll usually be native to the platform, and typically they have a way of measuring it for you. Click-through rate, right? In social media, it's the percentage of people who clicked on a link on your post after viewing it. So the idea behind this is that you'll be able to optimize your posts on social media so that you can drive more traffic to the website from social media itself. By analyzing email metrics, and I don't know what happened to the picture here, but you can improve the performance of the content you share with your email database. So some of the things to look at inside email is the open rate. It shows you how many people open your email, and the click-through rate shows you how many people are clicking through to the email, right? So open rate benchmark should be between 15 to 20%, and the click-through rate benchmark across all the clients inside HubSpot is 2% click-through rate. So that's just something to keep in the know. It varies wildly per client, right? Some clients produce content that is hilarious and funny, and people always like to open their emails. I follow a shorts company. They make shorts called Chubbies, and their emails are hilarious. And I just read the emails because they're funny, and everything they do is funny. So their open rate is much higher than anybody else's, right? So if you're offering entertaining content, they'll open your actual emails and even click through more often through clicking. Some email metrics, right? Growing subscribers is super important to the subscribers on your email list, or the number of people in your blog or email database. That's another metric to track in email. And by producing the great content, much like I mentioned in my story about Chubbies, you can improve your content promotion, and it also increase the number of people who are on your list to be able to email to for your business. Conversion metrics show you how content is impacting your business, right? So we not only want to see how people are interacting with our website, but then we also want to see how it is affecting what we are selling or what we're doing, right? So some key conversion metrics to track include leads generated, conversion rate, and close rate. And really you want to do this because so you can understand how many leads your content is generating, how well the content converts visitors into leads, and what rate the leads you generate become customers. Any questions on this? Because this is like super important. Super important. It's like traffic, leads, and sales. It's like the three main metrics that we track for everything in business.
It's the money machine.
The money machine, exactly. Exactly, the money machine, the conversions themselves. So next we have paid metrics, right? Paid metrics to look at include quality score. This is the way that Google measures the effectiveness of your ad, right? The higher the quality score, the lower the price you pay when bidding on ad placements or ad position. Elements that affect the quality score are relevancy, which means that an ad that you create and you have, let's say you have a keyword, let's say digital marketing, the ad must have the keyword in the ad itself. It must also be in the landing page where the ad leads to, they must have the word digital marketing. And then in the follow-up and follow-through as well, which is the thank you page after they download the offer or consume the piece of information. Because of that keyword being in the ad, in the landing page, and in the thank you page, that will elevate your quality score. Elevating your quality score will mean that you are paying less for the same keyword. So oftentimes you'll see that agencies or companies that are in higher position, some people pay less money to be in the #1 position because their ad is more relevant, right? Based on what Google is reading. Another paid metric to look at is cost per click. So how much is it costing you per actual click that people are actually clicking on? So it's shortened by CPC, or cost per 1,000 impressions, which is CPM, right? They're important to track depending on the type of paid promotion you are using to support your content. And CPC, you pay every time someone clicks on your ad. CPM, you pay one price per 1,000 times that your ad is seen. It doesn't matter how many times they click, right? Cost per acquisition is another paid metric that you can use to identify how much you are paying to acquire a lead. So this type of promotion aligns the content that is gold with lead generation. You want to make sure how much each lead is costing you. Close rate is another metric that is important to track on paid promotion, but the idea here is to track the rate at which your paid leads become customers. You'll have a better sense of what type of content attracts high quality leads and ultimately pay for your product or your service that your business sells. And you have to continually evaluate. So you have to take a look at the performance in order to optimize and yield more return on investment over time. One of the elements that we stick to in anything that we do is return on ad spend on any ad campaign that we really go after, which is the difference in money generated by a conversion of the ad minus the total spent on the ad, right? You want that that ratio to be hopefully high for you. So running paid ads can actually boost performance over your organic efforts, especially in search itself. So an example, right? At e-commerce site that can, like Shopify, starting an e-commerce business is the first ad on there, but it is also seen here on the second organic search result here at the bottom. Tracking conversions with attribution models. So this is a little bit more of an advanced section, but an attribution model is a set of rules that measure the impact of multiple marketing touch points to make sense of an entire journey from a stranger to a customer. So attribution models can can tell you how many leads first enter your website by your blog content, which marketing channels generate the most leads, which promotional channels are the most influential when turning a lead into a customer, right? And it'll also help you understand the offer or the effectiveness of landing page forms or pop-up forms. So it may be you can use these attribution models to determine which is going to be the best solution to convert your individual visitor on your website. Analyzing and measuring content in action. Okay, so we're going to go into a little bit of a case study here. Facebook ads and Google ads, which one worked the best? So this is another case study from WordStream, the client that we reviewed a little earlier or in the previous class. WordStream is the tool to use to manage Facebook ads as well as Google ads. Their goal was to generate 100 press pickups. They ended up generating 10,000 press pickups and almost 1 million links to their website. right? They were measuring the return on investment of the campaign primarily based on the traffic of their website, to their website, and as well as the links to the website from authoritative publications. So some additional benefits that they got from it, they built a lot of relationships during a short period of time when the story was hot. These connections remember him because the story did so well, and it put WordStream on the map from a branding perspective, right? And they found a new equilibrium, really. It impacted the conversion and click-through rates for future campaigns that they made because of the data that they gathered. So people are impacted by subtle biases, and they tend to favor consuming content from sources they have heard of before, right? So the tools they use to track the campaign performance include Google Analytics, Facebook Analytics, Google Search Console, SEMrush, and Ubersuggest. So all those tools, analytics tools, were used for this particular campaign. In addition to tracking this, they were able to track on Google News every time they got mentioned, right? The topic they were decided to follow was WordStream. So if there's something that you want to keep track of as well, and track in terms of being able to see the impact of how press may pick you up, you can see it by simply creating a topic to follow on your Google News system. I have inbound marketing, digital marketing, my name, you know. Every time someone gets arrested, I get notified with my name, which is sad because there's so many arrests. But gaining an appreciation for the scale and power of the media, right? Because these individuals did not necessarily see an ad, but they were exposed to the story that they created, and then were able to come back and use natural word of mouth and relationship building to grow this particular campaign. So every time you create a new campaign, this is from Larry Kim, you're auditioning a new piece of content that you hope will resonate with your audience. So to extract the most leverage as you can from your content, you have to try repurposing the content, doing media interviews, doing radio interviews, paid promotion. So I know, at least from my experiences in Dominican Republic, radio is big. Media interviews are huge too. And not repurposing content, but you will help make that a huge trend, right? Repurposing all the content that you're going to repurpose. But when I went down there for, I forgot what I went down there for, Merca Expo, I think it was like an event from UNIVE, and I went on like 7 radio interviews. And you could see it. As soon as you went on the radio, there was Twitter talk and there was Instagram posts and all kinds of things were happening. So you can definitely leverage this content that you're building here in order to get those eyes on you and get more expansive reach. Someone said something or no? Is that me? No, we're good. Okay. So we're in the last section here, communicating content performance. All right. So how do you communicate your goals to your team and your organization? So we are, as an agency, we are transparent. We write these goals down for every quarter, and we review these goals every quarter together as a team. But the idea here would be to make your goals always clear and easy to understand, and make sure that everybody on your team understands. Make your goals transparent by ensuring that they're everywhere. I have them right there on my wall on the other side, so I like just look up and I see my goals all the time. Rally your team about their respective goals. Use all of this information that you've created to communicate goal attainment to leadership, right? So you can use graphics or charts and explain to them how it's working to explain, let's say, for blog leads, but use something that will visually impact them as much as possible. So, but what if you do, what if you fall short, right? What if you as a marketer, you have a client and it's not working, campaign is not working? What do you do? What would you do, Jose, if it's not working?
Oh, I became a slave of paid advertising. Like every single moment I was checking every single movement that happened there. It was crazy. Pero it worked. Like I changed some headlines and stuff.
Mhm.
Some copy.
And it worked.
Hey, pero it's crazy. Like you're on top of it every single minute of your life.
Yeah. But what would you do if it didn't work? Let's say one day it didn't work. What if the paid advertising didn't work? What are you going to do?
Learn from it.
That's good. But how are you going to communicate it to the client?
Bueno, I don't know. I'm going to learn right now.
Well, what I'm trying to get at is that just own your performance, you know, make sure that, hey, look, if it fails, you were right on the track, right, with learn from it, but you have to be able to communicate that to the client as well, right? Because sometimes we're not perfect. We make mistakes, and sometimes we make assumptions that don't work, and it's going to happen, right? I probably failed more times than I win. So you just got to be honest with them. Just let them know, hey, this is the reason we failed. We failed. This is why we failed, and this is how we fix it. You know,
Okay.
That's kind of like the approach, right? Go for it.
Has ¿cómo se dice? Data.
Dilo en español.
Bueno, data has, si la información, el data que tú tenías, alguna vez te ha hecho tomar una decisión incorrecta, que tú crees que it wasn't the right thing to do, but you did it because of data show you something that you believe it was true when you design everything?
Yeah, I've made the I've made the wrong decisions based on data. Yeah.
Okay.
Sí, pero el punto es como que no detenerse mucho en qué pasó, sino resolver rápido.
Sí, how you adapt to it. Sí.
Exacto.
Es como cambia. Y we've made mistakes when the data says otherwise. And then also sometimes, I mean, look, data can tell you like it's going in one direction, and then COVID comes. And you go, poof, everything goes down. So you just don't know. You know, like here during hurricane season is the worst time to install like windows and doors, because that's usually a slow time for my client. I mean, we adapt every quarter and every month and every week. That's why, like, the pro tip here is considering tracking the goals weekly, right? We look at our goals every week. Every Monday at 7 a.m. the team meets and we review what we call rocks. Rocks are our big goals, right? Our progress towards those goals, and we're constantly evaluating. Last quarter, I didn't reach my sales goals. So this quarter, I have to adapt. I have to sell more this quarter to make up for what happened last quarter. But just remember, I mean, it should bring you together, right? Being honest about it, even talking about your failures, it should bring you together as a team, and really try to set the expectations by communicating realistically too, right? Like, it may have been that you set a goal that was way too lofty and unattainable, right? So be realistic, and also set goals that help you challenge yourself to go to the next level. All right. That was the last of it. That was the last of the presentations. So now we have an open discussion for fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, questions, feedback. Actually, feedback.
I probably me hubiese gustado que estas últimas 2 sesiones encontrar algo más de práctica, porque siento que me pasó todo muy por encima a nivel de información. Era tan compleja y, o sea, I get it, pero no sé, quizá me hubiese gustado agregarle un poquito más de práctica que igual que al inicio.
Got it. Okay.
Overall, amazing.
Okay.
I've learned so much from this class. La forma, how you explain it, how you've been so helpful and available all the time. I actually learned a lot. I mean, like I'm in another dimension right now.
Good. Fantastic.
And I'm starting to, like, I'm applying everything that I've learned from this class into my project, as I mentioned before. And hopefully I'll bother you soon.
Yeah.
To get some feedback.
Cool. Do it. I
Thank you.
agree.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for everything.
Absolutely. You're welcome. And yeah, practica. It's a little harder to do with this because we would have to.
I know it's
Sí,
harder with that subject.
Porque estoy de acuerdo con Aide, pero claro, igual es como un poco difícil hacer práctica de, pero sí es cierto que a lo mejor es too much.
I can.
Yo creo que lo más importante de todo definitivamente, o sea, nos lo llevamos, ¿no? Y me gustaron mucho los tools, o sea, como los frameworks, cómo organizarlo también. O sea, me parecen bastante valuable. O sea, yo, por ejemplo, que en verdad, o sea, definitivamente todos ustedes saben más que yo de esto. Pero ahora ya como que tengo una muy buena idea. A lo mejor ya como el very specific no lo voy a haber podido absorber todo, pero I think like the big ideas definitely are there, and now I know like existe este mundo, and you know, if ever yo voy avanzando, ya yo sé que okay, there was something called this, I could, you know, start applying it or look into it.
Yeah.
So a mí me encantó.
Awesome. Fantastic. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Bueno, en mi caso, yo me sirvió mucho para darme cuenta de que no estoy tan mal en lo que estoy haciendo, pero sí me ayudó bastante a organizarme, porque yo, o sea, sí tengo como que the basics, pero no encontraba como la forma de qué tengo que hacer primero, qué tengo que hacer después, que siga esto, que siga aquello. Y la verdad es que sí, a mí me sirve de mucho todo esto. Yo te dije, creo que fue antes de ayer, que yo este proyecto lo voy a llevar adelante y lo voy a vender.
Good.
Y ya te diré cómo me va. Igual te voy a molestar, como dijo Aide, te voy a molestar un poco.
Oh, yes.
Do it.
Porque sí voy a necesitar ayuda, pero sí, para mí fue súper bueno este curso. Me hubiese gustado que fuera en otras circunstancias, pero bueno, es de lo que hay y se aprovechó.
Sí. Soon.
Cuando vengas a Punta Cana, bueno, cuando vayas a Punta
Tenemos que
Cana.
hacer un reunion.
Exacto.
Sí. Yeah.
Virginia, tú vas a ser por Zoom.
Yo voy bastante, así que no se preocupen.
Ah, bueno. Pues,
Perfect. Awesome.
Cool.
And
Yo,
you want to go?
wait,
Yeah.
same with the Arlene. It gives you like a framework to actually how to do things in a proper way. Because, you know, we all have been with social media like all the time, and like with the internet, we're familiar with it. And we know what kind of things basically to put there. We think that we know. But when you actually see the process of doing this, it's like, it gives you a new reality, how you can actually make this for real.
Yeah.
Because you have like a step by step. Y eso es something that I get like my major, ¿cómo se dice? Lo que me del curso.
Beautiful.
Sí, como que por ejemplo, like, I don't feel as overwhelmed en pensar en tener que escribir, o sea, todo este content, porque, no sé, ya como que siento que lo organizas de tal forma que, you know, like...
It comes naturally. Because
Sí, tal cual, exacto.
Exacto. ¿Qué fue lo que me pasó a mí con el proyecto que yo estaba armando? Yo creé los pillars of content, pero del social media. Because in my head, I thought like, okay, this is what works here, I'm gonna do it from this part, but después tuve que, fue como que del final a agregarlo al inicio y engranar, o sea, hacer el engranaje, y obvio, agregar el tema del web, que era algo que no es no es mi expertise, o sea, mi expertise es donde yo tengo conocimiento en social media management, pero, o sea, traspasar lo que es el brand content marketing strategy, o sea, como que y es realmente verlo plasmado, cómo va atado, realmente verlo cómo se unió el social media con el content de la marca fue increíble.
Beautiful.
The SEO part for me was the highlight.
Ay, los keywords, oh my goodness. Yo hoy me pasé una hora con mi hermano y yo le dije, mira, estoy entre un browser incógnito y comencé, tú ves, no tenemos los keywords, we're not using the keywords, ahora tenemos que arreglar la página entera.
Yeah. Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah, it happens.
With websites and the SEO part, for me now, it's like a pretty interesting tool.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes we're lazy, like with headlines, and because we think like it doesn't, like, what's the purpose? Because no one con los headlines y todo ese tipo de cosas, pero at the end of the day, la computadora no sabe nada, la computadora es logic.
Yeah,
if
not yet.
you don't follow the logic, it won't do the thing that you want the computer to do.
Sí, pero yo creo que no es laziness, yo creo que es más como que
No, pero
no somos desarrolladores, no tenemos eso como...
Pero tú sabes...
Como que en la parte de los códigos es como que, ok, vamos a dejarle eso al webmaster.
Está bien, pero tú sabes que me marcó mucho, agregándole eso, Arlene, a eso que tú dices, me marcó mucho algo que dijo Rod, y fue de que piensen en los keywords o en los pillars como real estate.
Sí.
Y mientras más tú tienes, más tú vas a aparecer. Entonces, así fue como que fue como que, ok, sí, ya yo lo estoy viendo perfectamente.
O sea, una cosa tan pendeja como ponerle un nombre a una foto. O sea, ¿quién
tener links, video de YouTube en tu página y ni siquiera tenerlo correctamente coordinado con un para que realmente te suba la búsqueda, como eso afecta realmente para bien. Es como que, ok, esto hay que arreglarlo todo.
Hey,
Hey. ¿Cómo están?
Bien.
¿Cómo lo pasaron con Rogelio?
Súper.
Bien.
Super cool.
Super cool.
Yes.
So, what do you guys think of the class? Good? You guys are experts now?
10.
10. Perfect.
Oh,
So,
yes.
no, solo quería decirle que le había dicho a Rogelio que quería, cuando terminara, me avisara para darle las gracias, porque de verdad, yo sé que esto es un nuevo espacio, una nueva experiencia, algo que nos tenemos que adaptar. Del lado de nosotros de aquí, Miami Ad School, ya estamos viendo cómo damos todo el quarter virtual. Rogelio nos va a ayudar a ir mejorando la experiencia. Y como les dije al principio, me interesaría mucho oír de todos ustedes en los próximos días cómo fue la experiencia, qué hubieran hecho bien, mal. No se sienten mal hay veces que la gente dice, bueno, fue tan bien, pero no quiero decir que hubiera sido algo mejor. Díganos sin miedo, es decir, ¿qué ustedes creen que podríamos mejorar en la experiencia? Porque por lo que estoy viendo y por lo que estamos viendo en el mundo, esto va a ser parte...
Largo.
No va a reemplazar lo presencial, y para eso yo tengo varias ideas de cómo como estudiantes vamos a ir viendo esta combinación de lo virtual y lo presencial. Es decir, tal vez mucho se haga virtual para después terminar en algo presencial, o tal vez se hagan más cursos como este virtual y se deje lo presencial para algo más puntual, algo más sólido, no sé. Es decir, te puedo decir que entre todas las escuelas hemos estado tratando de ver qué se va a hacer y poco a poco iremos perfeccionando el sistema. Y también viendo ver, porque ahora mismo lo que estamos usando es la tecnología que está disponible. Yo me imagino que detrás de todo esto hay una serie de personas que están inventándose el próximo Zoom. Es decir, si ustedes se acuerdan, antes de Facebook creo que había MySpace. Y ya MySpace no existe.
Still on MySpace.
Y antes de Zoom era Appear y ahora Appear no existe.
Exactamente. Entonces, yo te apuesto que dentro de un año estaremos teniendo este tipo de experiencia en una plataforma que tal vez se ajuste más a lo que hemos estado viendo que como educadores vamos a tener que necesitar pedazos. Es decir, y tal vez sea una plataforma donde todos se complementen juntos. Pero nada, Rod me dijo que van a coger el examen después. Me imagino que, no sé, ustedes planearán cuándo lo cogen, cuándo no. No se asusten. Es decir, yo sé que todos nos asustamos con exámenes. Tal vez por eso es que Miami High School no da exámenes. Porque nos asustamos. Pero no, es decir, cualquier cosa que necesiten, yo estoy disponible, Rogelio está disponible también. La otra cosa que te iba a preguntar también, les voy a mandar, después que acabe la clase ahora, un screenshot de los nombres de todos ustedes. Es decir, yo tengo un chart donde iba poniendo los nombres de quién se iba registrando, para que me lo lean y si hay un error de ortografía me lo dejen saber, porque eso es lo que yo voy a usar para mandarle los certificados a ustedes de Miami High School. Entonces no quiero mandar algo con un error. ¿Y qué más? ¿Alguna pregunta? ¿Algo antes de finalizar esta experiencia?
No, todo súper.
¿Todo súper?
Sí.
Perfecto.
Actually, I have a question.
Yes.
Do you want to take the test like together, or you want to take it on your own time? Do you prefer? What do you prefer? Typically, they give you 2
Either
hours.
way.
Sí, como quieran.
Okay. Because I mean, we can schedule something for Wednesday next week or Tuesday.
Wednesday next week, okay.
I'm gonna forget.
You can forget
It's too
by then?
far.
Well, I mean, I'll send you the access, and you can do it ahead of time if you want.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
No,
Sí,
pero
yo la aconsejo que
para mí el miércoles está bien.
Para mí también.
Okay. It gives you time to study too, because I
Exactly.
think
también.
the SEO portion is serious.
Se me rompe la botella.
Y también le da chance a que Rogelio les mande todas las presentaciones y todo lo que le hemos prometido que le vamos a estar mandando.
Claro.
Ya me estoy perfeccionando mi arte de subir videos en YouTube.
Ya estoy viendo. Yo
Y
lo
hoy vi que el video que subiste tenía en la portada de los flamingos.
Sí. Entonces, pero nada, señores, muchísimas gracias, de verdad. Antes de irnos, déjame hacer un group photo. Este va a ser el nuevo group photo del hombre.
Voy a ver si prendo la luz mejor.
Así que pónganse bonito, porque le voy
Ay,
a
Dios.
Get the lighting.
Esto es
get the
difícil.
lighting. Revisan.
Espérate.
Uy, mira. Oh.
Ponerse bonito porque uno no sabe para dónde va esa foto.
Mira,
Esa foto va a tener
¿a
internet.
dónde tú vas?
Esa foto va a tener internet. En internet está así hasta que me muera yo. Después yo me muero y sale buscan a Arlene y dije, Arlene toda.
No, sí.
Ya.
Muy bien.
No, claro, porque si lo vamos a hacer bien, vamos a hacerlo bien todos.
Ok. ¿Están listos?
Estamos listos.
Ready.
Ok. 1, 2, 3. Ríanse. Voy a tirar otra. Otra más. Espérense.
Espérate.
Otra más.
Otra.
Ya. 1, 2 y 3. Tío, esa sí quedó bien. Genial. Los quiero mucho y seguimos en contacto. ¿Ok? Cualquier cosa.
Bye, JG.
Bye, Daisy.
Ok.
Gracias por todo. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Rod.
Bye, thank you.
Bye, Arlene. Bye, Virginia. Bye, Jose.
Bye, chicos.
Gracias.
Bye-bye.